All right, we're taking a trip to the very near future, 2026 to be exact, to look at how the world of publishing is getting completely turned on its head. I mean, the ground is shifting, the old rules are out the window, so let's dive right in.
Okay, let me ask you something. What if the next book you buy isn't actually picked by you? What if an AI chose it for you? Yeah, sounds a little like sci-fi, right? But what if I told you it's a lot closer than you think?
Well, guess what? In 2026, it's not sci-fi anymore. It's happening. The old playbook for how books are sold, totally thrown out. We're playing a whole new game now.
And that brings us to our first big idea here. This isn't just a small change, it's a full-blown publishing revolution. We're looking at 2026 as this watershed moment where everything changes for authors, for publishers, and yeah, even for us readers.
You know, the whole conversation has done a complete 180. It used to be, how do we put AI into our media? But now it's about how all media exists within an AI world. Everything we see, everything we read, it's all being filtered through this powerful new lens.
So you're probably wondering, how does this actually work in practice? Well, the best way to think about it is like you're getting a brand new AI co-pilot. This isn't just some gadget, it's a seriously powerful assistant that's changing the entire game of how we find and buy books.
For decades, the holy grail for any creator was SEO, search engine optimization, right? The goal was simple. Hustle your way onto that first page of Google. That was the old way. Now, forget it. The new game is all about GEO, generative engine optimization.
And with GEO, the goal is completely different. You're not trying to please some search algorithm anymore. Nope. You're trying to convince an AI chatbot, like a ChatGPT or a Gemini, that your book is the single best, most definitive answer to someone's question. It's like having the world's smartest librarian personally walk over and hand your book to a reader. Powerful stuff.
Okay, and this is where it gets really wild. This whole idea leads directly to the next evolution, something called agentic commerce. This is where your AI doesn't just recommend a book, it actually has your permission to go out and buy it for you. It handles the whole thing.
So, what's that process look like? It's pretty straightforward, really. Step 1, the AI does all the research. It's scanning reviews, checking prices, and most importantly, it knows your personal preferences inside and out. Then, step 2, it selects the perfect book for you. And finally, step 3, it just buys it, using this thing called the Universal Commerce Protocol. Boom! From a simple question to a new book on your device, all done for you. Now, all this tech isn't just happening in a vacuum. It's causing this huge power shift in the industry. We're seeing the incredible rise of what people are calling authorpreneurs. These are creators who are grabbing the reins and taking direct control over their sales and, really, their entire careers.
And we're not talking about a small fringe movement here. By 2026, a whopping 30% of indie authors are selling directly to their fans. They're just bypassing the big platforms like Amazon altogether. I mean, can you blame them? They're tired of having their careers dictated by some random algorithm change or a sudden drop in royalty rates.
And yeah, the money is a huge part of it. The financial incentive here is just staggering. When an author sells direct, they can keep up to 95% of the revenue. 95%. That's a massive, massive reason to build your own shop.
But you know, it's not just about the money. It's about owning your audience. It's about data. When you sell direct, you own that customer list. You know who your readers are, and that lets you build a real long-term relationship with them, which, for marketing, that is absolute gold.
So while the business side of things is changing, the very idea of what a book is changing too. It's not just about words on a page anymore. Reading has become this huge social and really immersive experience.
And this quote from an industry insider in 2026 just nails it. They said, books are not just about reading anymore. They're about experiencing. It's about creating a whole world, a whole vibe around the story.
So what does this experience actually look like? Well, for starters, you've got genres like romantasy. That's romance plus fantasy, just dominating the charts. You've got these stunning collectible special editions with sprayed, stenciled edges and hidden art under the dust jacket. Authors are throwing these super aesthetic launch parties that are literally designed to go viral on Book Talk. And you're even seeing things like digital certificates of authenticity signed by the author. The book itself has become an event.
Okay, our final big trend is a huge one. We're entering what you could call the new audio-first world. Seriously, the way we listen to stories is now changing everything. Not just how they're sold, but how they're actually written in the first place.
So, Let's take a quick look at the market breakdown in 2026. As you can see, print, ebooks, and audiobooks all have a pretty healthy slice of the pie. But what's really interesting are the reasons why. The drivers for each format are totally evolving.
So yeah, print is still on top at 45%, and that's really being driven by that desire for a physical, collectible object, that digital detox feeling. But look at audiobooks. They've grabbed a solid 20% of the entire market. This is not a niche thing anymore, folks. It is a major, major player, and it's being supercharged by things like AI narration and smart speaker integration.
And one of the biggest reasons for this audio explosion is cost. Get this. AI-generated narration has cut production costs by a mind-blowing 80%. 80! This means publishers can now afford to turn their entire backlist, all those older books and niche titles, into audiobooks. It's creating this gigantic new library of content seemingly overnight.
Okay, so we've talked about AI buying our books, about authors becoming entrepreneurs, about books as experiences, and this huge audio boom. So, what does it all mean? How do we tie all these threads together? If there is one single theme, one word that defines success in 2026, it's this: flexibility. The people who are going to win are the ones who can adapt. The ones who see a book not just as a book, but as this fluid, multi-channel asset that can be a podcast one day, a TikTok trend the next, and a beautiful collector's item after that.
Because really, when you strip it all away, all this new tech, all these new business models, they're all just serving one timeless, fundamental human need. The delivery system has changed, sure, but our appetite for a great story, man, that is stronger than it has ever been.
The medium has been totally transformed. The rules have been rewritten from the ground up. So the only question left is, what story will you tell?